All right. Welcome to My Kind of Combo.
Back at it again.
I'm your girl, Criss.
It's your girl, Kim.
And Criss Cross.
Ooh, sultry. Sultry. Go ahead, boo.
A little spice.
Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit. Welcome, guys. Thank you to all our listeners, our old, new. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. And we hope we're fulfilling your time. You know, I like to listen to a bunch of podcasts during this time and stories. So when I'm driving or just bored, and it fills up time. So I hope we're filling in that time.
Soft voices.
This is not that type of. It's not that type of podcast. It's not that time.
But what better than three lovely, dynamic women who have smooth voices?
Now, we didn't say listen to this on a Friday night, but
if you choose to, hey, we not judging.
Delilah got some competition.
I'm so done. Not for me.
I love you, Delilah. Don't play it. I love you, Delilah.
You don't know who Delilah is? Check out 106.7. I like 8 at night.
It's Tunes with Delilah. Love her.
I'm so done. Jeez. Plug in a whole woman. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna hop into our topics. So I guess I'll start. Yeah, we'll go with the old routine a little bit. So if we remember when we first started our first episode, I brought out about that, when a whole bunch of friends went to a birthday dinner, and remember, whoa. And it was a whole discussion about who's, some of them went crazy with their orders, and they thought that this was a free for all, and while the others were a little bit more economical, they were like,
don't order lobster on my tab.
Right.
My pockets are screaming at me that this water is kind of expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then the problem was the check, because it was almost like $5,000, and people wanted to split evenly. Right? Remember that whole situation.
Because what couldn't it have been me?
Right. I can't relate.
Well, when, of course, going through reels and stuff, a whole bunch of different videos were coming up on my stream, on my For You page, where basically I was seeing a different way of people trying to, in a sense, do the same thing, but it was done differently. So there was a situation where a young woman went out with her friends, and she brought her man. Now, yes, brought her man. And so it was her, I believe it was 3 other friends, her man. And they go out, they're having a good night, whatever. Okay. Man's, check comes. Man put out the money for him and his girl.
Right.
So the friends were all like, pause. And they thought he was going to pay for them. So, of course, he was like, no, I'm paying for me and my girl. The girl actually got upset and was like, I thought you was going to pay for everybody. And he was like, why would I pay for everyone? I'm paying for you. I'm paying for me. They can pay for themselves. And the bill was pretty expensive, like $12,000 expensive.
Where'd y'all go?
So
who eating that much food? How many of y'all was in?
What are we drinking?
What is this?
So it was super expensive.
Is it the place where that girl goes and she does like a backflip with the airplane shots?
Outside.
Because that makes sense.
Right.
We getting a show.
A whole show.
Right.
Dinner.
And
I'm so sorry. Medieval times not even that expensive, and I got a whole show.
Right.
And a
dinner and a show.
Right. And I'm catching the flower.
Right. So he paid for them. I guess the friends had to pull out their pockets, and the girlfriend felt a type of way, and she was mad at him for a long time, and to the point of like telling him, you need to, do you for a little bit. And he started feeling away, like, should I pay? Like I don't feel like I did anything wrong. She was like, if you want to make it right, just, send them back the money. And this will be all covered.
Excuse me?
So it was like, nah. So that was kind of like one situation. And then I seen the opposite side of that, where it was the same situation where friends, girlfriend, man, all went out, and the boyfriend paid for him and his girl. And the friends were like, so you're not going to pay for us? And
that's the one I saw.
The girlfriend stepped up and was like, no, he's not paying for you. And apparently this has been a thing with them where he has paid for them before, but Sister Soldier stepped in this time and was like, no, my man, this is my man. He is not paying for you.
Right. He's not our man.
Right. This is my man.
We're not sister wives.
Not paying. Y'all need to pay. And they felt a type of way. So I wanted to bring these situations up because now we're going from a friend dynamic to now we're going to like partners in the situation where now people are feeling like, especially the male or the more dominant person in the partnership should be paying for their partner and their partner's friends. And it's kind of like, I don't know if this is more of a recent thing, but now it seems to be like a thing going on. So y'all tell me what is going on and how you feel about this. And what would happen if you were in this situation?
I'm gonna do like school. I'm gonna do like school.
Hurry up and tag me and go.
All right. So I didn't know. Because we have a very nice and dynamic friend group. Most of us all have partners. My partner's paying for me.
Right.
I love you all. Unless we had a conversation before and I said, don't worry about it. Don't even stress about it. I know your situation. I know what you're going through. You had a hard week. You ain't got it. Don't even pay me back. I got you. But if we all going out, went out for anybody's birthday.
Right. Which we've got several people's birthdays.
Several.
Right.
Everybody put in.
Right.
Everybody put in their own share. And if it was a partnership, I never once, we have a very great friend with their current at the time, I would have never asked that person, hey, I know it's this person's birthday, but you're going to pay for everybody. Right? Okay, great. Just put it on your card. Right. Or ask your partner to be like, when we go out, be like, oh, they're paying for me.
Right.
Just off the bat.
I'm just trying to figure out where did it become the thing where
was it a norm?
Partner is now paying, because I didn't realize I was dating Bill Gates. You know,
because I'm not.
And even if I was, I don't think Bill Gates would still want to pay for a whole table.
I'm trying to understand where, like I really am. Like I'm trying to understand where, when these plans were made, where was it discussed on one like my man or my wife or whatever is paying for everybody,
right?
Like I want to know exactly where that came from, because like
where's the communication in that,
right? Because
if you do it one time, it's like okay, you know,
right? But even if it was like, you know what I'm saying, like let's say,
thank you so much,
like for example, I've had instances where, some great friends of mine, right, way back when, they're like, oh, like our anniversary happens to fall on yours, like let's go out to eat. And then when the bill comes, here we are like about to put the card, and then the other couple throws the card back at us and snatches the receipt, and now it's paid. And I was like, that's not how this is gonna work. So but it's there's four of us, and with that specific friend relationship that we had, it was very like, when we went out, somebody had to snatch the bill first, and that's who was paying, because that's just how we worked.
Yeah.
But that was always a communicated thing.
Right.
You know?
But that's also like a friend thing.
Right, yeah.
Like you guys know each other, like, you better not touch that check. And then it's like, you want to try to stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know your friends enough. But to assume your friend's partner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't, in certain instances where it's like, if you can afford to take out the whole friend group and be like, listen, like, this is on me. Like, I just want to have a good time with everybody. I don't care what nobody's economical state is. I just want to have fun. Everybody, come on, don't worry about it.
Right.
I could understand if that was the conversation beforehand and he was aware.
Yes.
Correct.
But to not be aware, and then all of a sudden as a unity, y'all was like, our man is not paying. First of all,
what you doing for this man?
It's the hour man.
right? Because that's essentially what you're insinuating, is that every time you come out with me, like, you're expecting that my person has to pull out of their pocket, but you also don't respect the fact that that's not just his pocket.
Yeah,
it's our pocket as
right.
a unit. So regardless of if I got a fat bank account and he got a fat bank account, you don't know where that money's coming from.
Right.
You don't know my bills.
Exactly.
Right.
And to just automatically assume,
right.
and then a $12,000 bill,
That's
of all,
crazy.
that's a down payment on a house, babe.
Yo, I almost flipped my whole hair out.
Because you know what I'm doing?
At the time. Because I was like, 12,000.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going to go ask the waiter for a couple of aprons. Y'all better start washing dishes. Because I need to understand how the bill got to $12,000 and you expect just our man all of a sudden to pay the bill.
Right. It was a small group, and I don't know what restaurant, but clearly it was fancy enough for, I think, 4 or 5 of them to spend $12,000.
No, that's a negative.
As
That's
the
a
napkins
negative.
are on the plate and they're cloth napkins and they're not folded in the traditional fold, that's it. You're spending money. So, like, don't ever come at me after we just ate luxury and be like, our man's not paying the bill. Back up.
You already know.
Right. Because you know what? I should have left when I saw how clean the water looked in the picture.
Crystal clear, right? You said the picture. Not even talking about in person. You're like, we didn't even make it in person. I saw the picture.
By the way, the menu came out to me in a booklet form. I knew.
Right. The way that the way that they were like, this is our dinner menu today. What's tomorrow?
You guys already know. I have still yet to really experience a place where they're giving you the hot towel first.
Let me explain something. That hot towel is $100 right there.
That alone is letting me know I'm in an extra fancy place.
I mean, an appetizer. An appetizer.
Not even. That might even be too.
That's it, right? That's why I'm only eating the appetizer, and I'm gonna leave hungry because I know.
Right.
Because I know.
I have to agree a lot with Criss Cross, because it's like, I want to know where that communication was, that the assumption is my partner is paying in full for everyone at this table. Where did I mess up to make you assume? First off, in the first situation, I think she told her friends, don't worry about it.
Right.
My man,
you see communication.
And I think that's what it is, because I don't think they would have been shook if they didn't think that he was paying.
Right.
And I don't think she would have been upset if she didn't think he was paying. But the thing about it is, she communicated with her friends, but she didn't communicate with her man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't say, hey, babe, for the dinner, so you know, can you just cover the bill for everybody? Because I would really appreciate it. You know, these, whatever the reason that they went out, because it wasn't specific. It was a birthday, anniversary, if it was whatever, a girls' night. But it can't be a girls' night if you bring your man. Right. So I don't know what the whole logistic was. Okay. But at the end of it, like, you didn't communicate to him that he was the payer. You know what I'm saying?
And the restaurant enjoyed the payee status. But like, come on. It's like, okay, so we had gone to a birthday party. And our main thing, it was a friend's birthday, karaoke, boyfriend at the time, just was like, come out. Cool. First thing we said was, how much I gotta put in?
How much?
Yeah, is it?
Definitely.
How much? It was so nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big place, the bottles, food, all of this.
And it wasn't cheap. These were like top shelf drinks.
Top shelf drinks, shots.
Whatever you wanted on the
menu, just get it.
Right. It was like it was
place
really
was
nice.
Really nice.
But it was known before.
And as friends, we still asked, how much I gotta send you? How much? And the thing is, when we looked at the food menu, we were like, all right, this is how much it is. This is how much it is. And then he was like, nah, don't worry about it. I got this. And we're like, no. Okay. So for the next event, I would not expect both of them to come out and he'd be like, oh, so you're not paying?
Right. It's not an assumption. I'm not going to assume because of one event that this is going to be a continuous situation.
It should never be that way. Like, it should never be like, I'm going out with you guys. Okay, I picked up the bill this time. You can't be like, oh, so I thought it was on you.
Right. No.
Hold on.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the first situation, I think she really messed up by not communicating with him. The second situation, I don't know. That girl need to lose her friends or something. Because maybe they paid a little too much for them in going out. And they got super comfortable in thinking her man was going to continuously pay for them to go out. Because she definitely had to put a stop to her man paying for her friends.
Right, because it seems like it was a habit.
Right.
And he was ready to put down.
Right.
When that shouldn't be. I'm sorry, any person's significant other, I would never assume that you're paying for me.
Right.
Be it me or my partner or my kids or my cat or my dog or my parents or anybody. I'm going to always assume I am taking care of mines.
Right.
Unless you come at me and say, oh, whoa, no.
Right.
No.
Right. Again, it would just be a question beforehand, no matter how long, even, and with us, with your partner, I would never assume, regardless, you guys have been together for about 9 years. I would never turn around and say, just because I know him and he's practically a brother to me, that I would always assume he's going to pay if we went out.
Right.
Point blank, period. Just like I wouldn't assume the other way with me and my partner, just because we've been together this length of time, oh, every time we go out, he's going to pay.
Right.
It's like, why doesn't matter length of time, it doesn't matter of how well I know them. I should never assume. I know people for 10 plus years and I still will never assume that they're gonna pay for me unless they state it, unless they're like, no, I got this. And even then I'm still fighting you because I'm like, no, let me help out. And it's like, nah, again, with Criss Cross was saying, your friend group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm never, ever going to assume, no matter, I'll be 90-something years old and I'm still not going to assume.
I'm still pulling out my little credit card. Limit.
Which
card I'm going to be today?
That card's going to take 10 years to come out my pocket because I'm older now. But just know, I'm still working on it.
Right. By then, we already called the restaurant. Here's my card number.
Right.
Because... do it now. All right. I already know we get the same lunch every other week. All right. The only thing that might change is I might need an extra coffee. It's just the situation where the friends assumed that, all of a sudden he was the community's man at that point. All right. They're bugged out. And you are too used to that. And shame on you because you shouldn't think that way. Because if you're thinking like that with her man, then when y'all have men, y'all better do the exact same 100%. Thing and pay 100%. For the table.
That's real.
But
that's
again,
true.
that has to be communicated.
Right.
And the girlfriend that stood up for her man, she's absolutely right.
Right.
Why my man all of a sudden became our man and has to pay for everything.
Right.
That's a dub.
Right.
And
because if he's our man, we are paying, our man.
So I'm calling you.
Sharing responsibilities.
Right. I'm calling you for all the other bills too.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as far as I'm concerned, you was in my house 2 days out of the week and I need the $45 for the light bill. Like
the gas.
It's just
water.
There's boundaries and to overstep it in that manner is really, really disrespectful to that relationship and your friends. Like, why would you go to that extent?
Right.
And then for the girl that got upset because the boyfriend only paid for he and her, and then you're mad about it.
Yeah.
First of all, his only responsibility in that relationship is to maintain you. If that. Because exactly, y'all
should have been fighting.
Right. Y'all should have been fighting for the bill. And you know what? And if it was to that where you wanted him to pay for everything, you should have stated that before y'all went out. Listen, I want you to pay for, our outing today and blah, blah, blah and XYZ. But at the end of the day, your friends should have already had money on the table and said, all right, how we splitting this? How are we doing this? What would you like me to cover? Would you like me to put this for the tip? XYZ. That should just be communicated instantly.
Well, everybody was putting down $4,000. It seemed because that bill was too damn.
Absolutely, since y'all live in bad and bougie. Because
there's some of us that could use that.
Right.
I could have made you a dinner and it would be delicious.
I got bills.
And it wouldn't have cost as much as
Right.
that.
Right.
But the money would have helped to
Right.
make that food. You know what I'm
Play
saying?
something. We did a private chef.
And
It still ain't come up to that. And it was so many other people there.
It was. It was.
Come on now. Let's be real.
Yeah. So for Kim's birthday last year, we surprised her with a nice little Airbnb and a private chef with a lot of close friends, and it was amazing. But I could tell you right now, the cost was not.
No, I know it was nowhere near that.
Not at all.
And people was
the food was
chilling.
really
And
good.
the food was good.
The atmosphere was great, but it was not even close to $12,000. Not even close.
Because I would have smacked you senseless. Because both of y'all was there. I would have been like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all know we could have been bad and bougie in a basement.
Put a little strobe light.
shut up. I was really thinking about I was like, wow, the basement club emo night. That sounds like a banger.
Affordable.
Right, and we used to do that for free.
Yo. Oh my goodness. For real. I remember going to those kinds of things.
Chilling on somebody's
there
house.
was no food. There was finger food. Okay.
Right.
So
If you
we could have
had
did
food.
all of that.
If you had food.
If you had
And I
that.
always ate before because
You never knew.
yeah, right.
You ain't never
knew.
know
Right,
who
right,
else
right.
you going
That's
to.
right. So, guys,
Lord.
let me tell me about this situation. Like, is this a new thing? Because I never thought in a million years there was this assumption that someone's partner would be covering everybody's table unless it was stated before. So, what do you think about these two situations? And each one. Also, have you ever experienced something like this? And do you think that, either woman, the woman who was defending her boyfriend wrong, or the woman who was upset at her man wrong? Let us know. We definitely want to hear about it because I know this was starting to be a thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
It's weird.
Weird thing to be. All right, guys, I'm gonna pass the buck. Who up next?
I'm gonna pick it up.
Oh, there we go.
So it's not really a conspiracy because it's true. It happened in past. It's a law in New York, right? So I just want the other New Yorkers.
It's a law in New York.
I want the other New Yorkers, the other New Yorkians. The first time I heard somebody say that and like it's actually a word, I was like, okay. So I just thought that this would give everybody a little bit of fear in their bones. Did anyone realize that New York passed a law that if the state deems so, they could just come to your house and take you for what they call quarantine, and they can treat whatever they deem is necessary.
Excuse me? What was that?
Yeah. They could just knock on your door and be like, oh, you got the sniffles? Snatch, quarantine.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I just got over a whole sickness. Please stop.
Right. No, this is serious. This is
Are you
serious.
serious?
Yeah, they could just come in, knock on your door, and be like, oh, I saw that you got tested positive for COVID yesterday. Guess what? You are patient 34762, and this is the last time, and you are not granted communication with your family, and there's no way for them to take you out.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah, this was on the news. When I saw that, I said, I'm never going back to the doctors.
What?
Yeah. And it's a scary thing. It doesn't matter what kind of sickness it is. It doesn't matter how long, when, it's when the state deems
The state.
the state.
No.
Yes,
That's
the
horrible
state.
because that's not even the city, it's the state. So
Right. So
talking
like
upstate
who is this
everywhere.
person that's reviewing the papers and makes the decisions? And why did that get passed the way that it did? For my people that watch the news all the time, who's on Channel 7 like that? Tell me. I need more information because That's a very scary thing to think about. And not for, if you want to go a little bit in depth, is nobody thinking of the children that they can just take from you?
That was
you
the first thing
yourself,
that came to my thought.
right? And then not only that, but our elders,
Our grandparents.
right? So you just finna come snatch my mamas up. Because,
or people in nursing homes,
right?
and things
Because
like
they
that.
have a little cold, and you can treat and give whatever medicine, you can do whatever you think the state deems is appropriate for their treatment.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like the thing that comes to mind, I know people are probably gonna be like, "What the hell is she talking about?" Raccoon City, and the only reason that comes to mind is because for where it went, and if you know Resident Evil, this is Resident Evil I'm talking about, guys. I'm so sorry, but it is the truth. To get to where they were at the end with all the zombies and stuff, there was a lot of testing and quarantining, and I know it's a game, but the fact that you're talking about this is for people, you're saying achoo, but it's a way to turn and test other things and figure out, hey, yeah, that cold, we're just going to pump you with this shot.
Right.
And you don't know what that shot is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I freak out now about my dad going and getting shots and stuff without
And they
us
don't
being
tell
told.
him.
Right.
And I'm like, pause. What was that? What did you just give him? But now you're telling me the state can now just come in.
Yep.
And they could just take any one of us because they heard us cough.
Because you heard me cough on the subway, you're going to report me.
Right.
And they're going to come to my house because they're going to look on the camera.
What kind
Right.
of like health
And they're
ice
gonna-
situation is this?
Right. It's a crazy scenario to think about. And I don't know who voted for this. And why
I don't
it was
think it
even
was it wasn't on a ballot.
right. And but
I think they definitely are using the wars and everything that's been going on chaotically to hide the fact, because a lot of laws get passed when there's this huge overlay of a news story happening, and then all of a sudden underneath all these, they do it as a blip to say that yeah, we did talk about it, so it's not like you didn't know it has been in the news, but they do it as a quick blip in the matrix. And then it just gets overshadowed by everything else. So we're kind of left with, at the aftermath, to go, wait, what happened during that time?
Right.
What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and
that's crazy.
It is crazy. It's very scary to think about, and how real is this going to be?
It's very disturbing.
Right.
Because
it's already been passed.
Right.
Now, how far are we taking this?
Right.
Like
how where are these quarantine areas, what law, like what regulations do you have input? How are you keeping these children safe, these adults safe, these teenagers safe, these seniors safe? And regardless, immigrant or not, citizen or not, you're able to dictate whatever's happening. So essentially we're going into another experimental time.
They could come in and do that, and they have the person who they take has no communication, but then what can the family
Make
do?
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What is the family's defense against that? So they're coming in, let's say Johnny had coughed, someone reported it, they came in and took Johnny from the family, right? And there's this law. So now the family is there, watch Johnny getting taken. What can the family then do?
So they gotta get a lawyer?
They might.
Most likely.
I imagine that. I
It's
imagine
like
that a lot of people would. Yeah.
Because I've seen this, SVU and all that does do this, and there's been a lot of news stories about it. When they pick up people from ICE, you get put in jail, quote unquote, a cell with no communication.
Right.
And you're just sitting there and you're just waiting with all of these other people who are waiting. No communication. There's no phone call. There's no nothing. There's no showers. There's no real bathrooms. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So are you putting these quote unquote quarantine people into a cell, into a cage?
Exactly.
When you don't know what they actually have, like a concentration camp, feeding them mush, and you're like, oh, well, they're gonna be fine,
right? Because we deemed it necessary. And not only that, and then you start to think about it even deeper, and then it goes so deep into the essay, it starts going into the sicknesses that are going to now be created and born and travel within those cages, or whatever this facility is.
But then I'm also thinking about hospitals.
Right.
Yes.
That's just hospitals are meant for sick people or people who are injured or wounded, and
This is
my
sickness.
what I also want to understand is, what is it that the state is not releasing that you need to pass a law at such a magnitude, okay, where you can just snatch somebody from their home and whatever
care.
it is, you know what I'm saying, and call it quarantine.
Right, quarantine. That's crazy.
And
maybe, I don't know, I think they may use, and this is just me speculating, this is not concrete, but I think the way they got, or may have, I would have to look more into the law.
this is all for educational purposes.
Yes, this is all speculation on my part, because this is the first time I'm hearing it.
This is all in our own opinions.
And I would legit have to like look more into the law itself to see what's going on. But if you think about the pandemic, right, and what happened during the pandemic, a lot of people did not want to leave their house,
right,
clearly, which was clear as day. But a lot of people also didn't want to get the vaccine. A lot of people didn't want to get treated, and people who did get sick didn't want the treatment. There were people who were like, no,
Right.
I don't care what you say. I don't want to put that chemical in my body, or for religious purposes, they were against it.
I don't know what it does.
So
things like that.
those people who didn't survive, that could have been a catalyst for them to say, well, we could have avoided monumental, the amount of deaths that we did get, if we were able to go in and physically do what we have to do,
right,
to ensure that didn't happen,
right.
And I think I'm just speculating, because if you really think about it, it makes sense in that way,
right, that
the pandemic, which we just had, it was like, well, we could have saved so many more lives if we had just forced it on them,
right?
Like, why? What we could have, like, instead of them giving them the option, we should have just forced it, point blank, period. And so I think they may have used that as a reason to pass this law to avoid, because New York City, we have tons, we have millions and millions of people living here, and of course, if you think about it, one outbreak here,
right,
it's ground zero.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But two is,
it spreads quick.
Absolutely, because you have several different. We're a tourist state, and then we're a refugee state.
Right now, yes.
Right now,
and then
100%.
there's a lot going on with that. I'm just gonna shift to the other two topics I had real quick. These are just fun facts. They're gonna bother you a little bit, I hope. Dubai has gotten so much rain that the news is saying that it looks like it's an apocalyptic state from how much flooding is going on. And I hope everybody's ready for the 2 different species of cicadas that will be rising by the end of the month, and it's coming by trillions.
I want to get to Dubai before it sinks, number one.
The tickets might be cheap, babe.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to know. I will be checking out tickets.
Yeah, we got to go in a boat though right now.
Be a boat. That's a problem.
Because it's raining. Why would we want to be in a plane? I mean,
no, that's how bad it is. It looks like Venice, Italy.
No, it's arc right now. I got to travel on a boat.
Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
You won't catch me in a plane, on a train,
I'm done with you. I'm done. No, I gotta see Dubai.
My high school gamer
one time before it disappears. But yeah, the cicada thing is bothersome.
It's bothering me. Yeah. Because then on top of it is like, I don't know how true this is. Maybe it was for some laughs, but like, correct me if I'm wrong. One of them is like a sexual fungus breed or something like that.
No.
Yeah, like, first of all,
loud for me.
These bugs
so
is not
loud.
Absolutely, they're ugly.
Yeah, they sure are.
They're ugly.
They sure are.
They're disgusting. They crunch when they die, and it's already giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh my gosh, where my grandmother lives, you hear them all the time, and it's not like like
Not me.
back in the
No.
day, it was so loud, and I'd be like, "What is that?" And then when I saw them, these massive looking green things. Now I did hear about that. I did hear about the 2 different kinds of cicadas that are coming. And I was just like,
Right.
of all times, right now, both of y'all couldn't separate.
And one is like a 17-year cicada, so it's been
Yeah.
asleep for 17 years. So it's coming out to propagate. That's why they're saying it's like a fungus. It's coming out to propagate, and it's coming to eat and everything else. So
What is it finna eat?
This is coming up by the trillions. Remember before when they had those bugs and they were just what was it? The lantern flies?
They still have
Yeah.
them. They just
And
come
they're
out in
still
the
around.
summer.
Yeah.
Right. But the lantern flies, and they were coming out in droves.
Yeah.
Right, but 2 is because nobody really realized what they were.
Die automatically.
Right,
Like,
you need
gotta
to
step
burn
on
them. Yeah, you gotta crush them.
So like, and the thing is, in Manhattan, you saw they was all indoors in like hundreds.
Oh my
of
goodness.
them.
We went to Jersey.
Yes.
Remember? We went to Jersey. And we went to Six Flags. We went for a day. When I tell you, we were waiting to get on, was it the Superman ride? We were waiting to get on the Superman ride. Oh my goodness. The amount of lantern flies.
I would've went home.
Them things were just, people like on this whole like flat top were just lantern flies. All on the back sides of the ride, lantern flies. Literally, we were flicking them off and stomping on them. Like it was
was
and I was
bad.
like,
And y'all
Jersey, what's
stayed?
going on?
I paid good money to
Right,
get
the
into
way I
Six
would have got
Flags.
that good
okay.
money back. Y'all,
Because
y'all
the price
can't
was
even
wild.
fumigate here. All the money that we pay for these passes,
I'm
how
so
dare
done
you?
with
And I gotta fight bugs to get on the
Wait,
water.
wait a minute.
But the
I had
fear.
a discount. Okay.
Okay,
Discount or not, they was gonna pay me back
but
full
my
price.
major fear was getting on the ride and
then one flies
those
into
are
you.
fly and you fly into them or fly. That was my fear.
Oh
That
my
was
god,
my
you imagine going down on that wood ride and you're screaming for your life
no,
and it just
never in a
caught you in
million
the mouth.
years.
Oh!
Never in a million years.
I would pass.
Would ride
out.
my
I'm
foot.
just gonna drop right
not
out of the
going-
fucking. Oops.
Drop, girl. I would have looked at the wood ride. I'm not getting on no wood ride.
The wood ride.
Never in a million years. My
Quick
partner
fu-
can't get me on it. Nope.
Quick funny story. The one time I went to Six Flags, I don't do rides. You're never gonna catch me on a ride unless it's a kiddie ride, and that's because one of my nieces and nephews said, "Let's go, TT." But I happen to be at Six Flags and I'm waiting for my friends and stuff to come off the wooden ride,
yeah.
right?
I think
El
Nitro
Toro.
or El.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
and
El
this
Toro.
this one older gentleman, he looked like he was having a great time. Good for you. I don't think he realized that at the end of that specific ride, you splash into water. Well, I don't know
wasn't
if he
El Toro.
thought his toupee glue was it, but the way his hair flew right off his noggin.
The way I would have been recording that.
It was the picture. That was because you know how they
You should
take
took a
those
picture
pictures.
of the picture.
I
Oh my
should've.
gosh.
But it was just like, whoop.
Oh man, that is.
I
that
said,
poor man,
wow, that
that's it.
sucks because you can't even get in the water and get your hair back.
Right, that's it.
It's gone.
That's it. I have learned that
gotta-
firsthand.
You have.
I have learned that firsthand. Don't ever go in with no toupee, no piece, no wig, and it can't be the wig glue. And don't do it. That is a story for another day.
Yeah.
But don't do it.
We're gonna
But,
come back to that one.
Yeah, them cicadas.
No,
I'm sorry.
and
I
they're
don't know
coming
what to do.
now during like the springtime,
Right,
when
to
we're
ruin
supposed
everything.
to have good weather,
Right.
and we're supposed to be chilling, and you're gonna ruin my whole good weather.
Right. So, ladies and gentle ladies, don't shave your legs yet because it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I'm done with you.
It's not worth it. Because we're finna be inside for at least 2 weeks with the amount of bugs that they got until they fumigate the city.
Probably ain't lying.
Oh, and there's one other thing. So the rats in New York, all right, they're now paying rent. When you're walking out your buildings,
They
they're
sure
chilling on your stoop. They're not
sure
scared of
are.
us anymore. They're not
They
running.
haven't been for a
They're
long time.
eating their lunch, dinner, breakfast right there with their family.
They sure
So
are.
please give them a little bit of respect.
It's like the bodega cat.
Do not treat them like vermin. You
Right.
don't know what they gotta pay for their
Right.
rent. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You
And they're
don't
big.
Don't be disrespectful.
They as big as a
Okay.
cat and a dog.
They are sitting on that step like you sit on your
Right.
step, enjoying the weather.
Right.
Okay.
So let Tom do his thing. Jerry,
Right.
he's over there with his family, living
Right.
in lovely. Let him be in peace.
Right.
And
Mickey-
please
Mickey
don't
and his
question it.
family
Just walk
don't-
away.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm
it.
done with
New
y'all.
York life.
Yeah.
New York life.
So that is the end of my segment.
And if you have any thoughts on any of these topics, please comment on our social media.
Goodness.
I know it was a lot. So
That
what
was
you
a
think
lot.
about the new law? Think about Mickey and Jerry living next door or in
Right.
your house because they
The
paying rent. I'm
cicadas.
telling you, you
Right.
just don't see it. The cicadas. And yeah, we did touch on the lantern flies a little bit. So leave and Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai. So definitely leave a comment about any of these topics.
Yeah.
Goodness, you guys. Look, I was gonna take us back. I'm gonna take us back though. I am. I'm gonna take us back.
Way back.
I actually am. I'm showing our
time.
age. I'm showing our age.
Oh.
We gotta bring it back. We gotta bring it a little back.
Oh, baby. Oh.
It's bringing it back.
Nah, you gonna get us started. All right. Anyway, I'm bringing it back. We're gonna go back into the 90s.
Okay.
Into the 90s.
It's a beautiful time.
You know, when Channel 13 and 21 was the K's after school TV
If you ain't
shows.
had cable.
If you ain't had cable.
Mhm,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And even if you did.
So
some of
public,
us.
public broadcasting station, PBS, all that. So there was a couple of shows back in the day that used to tickle our fancy. Mm-hmm. A couple of them, Reading Rainbow, and Cyber Chase was on. All these little cute
That
shows.
was my shit.
Look, don't
Couldn't tell me a
play.
thing.
Couldn't
Yeah.
tell me a thing.
Yeah.
Chicken wing. All right.
We knew about cybersecurity before it was a fucking class.
All right. But there was one show that has the hugest cult following, and this is Chris's favorite.
Is it Dragon
show.
Tales?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
No,
That was
no.
my show. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I did watch it, but it wasn't my favorite. No.
But her favorite is Wishbone.
Religiously, I watched this dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
If for those who don't know what Wishbone
And it has a massive
Kimberly
cult
can
fo-
explain.
It's massive cult following for Wishbone. Okay?
Wow.
So Wishbone, if you don't know, back in the 90s, there was this dog. Mm-hmm. His name was Wishbone, and he used to go on little adventures, reading books, and he had a family, and we go out with the family. It was amazing, and this little dog would dress up in little costumes, and he would do the parts like
Yep.
Cyrano de Bergerac. And
The purpose of Wishbone was like there was always a situation, and he equated that situation to a story or a book. And what I loved about it, we're book people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I would want to then read the book based off of what this dog was talking about. I was like, wait. What is that? Rip Van Winkle? Who that is? What
Right.
happened? That was my favorite episode. My favorite episode.
See, that brought you back. That brought you back.
Yeah,
That
Oh
brought
my
you back.
goodness. Sleepy Hollow, one of my other favorite episodes. I was like, oh, so this is a life situation that you equated to this book, and now I'm learning about a book that I want to now go read. And he was so cute playing one of the characters.
Right.
So like come on. It was like Reading Rainbow. It was like some other stuff, but it was like
Iconic.
the way they presented the story. I just loved it.
Right. So,
Yeah.
now I'm going to bring us back to the present. Being that we are, older and we've been very nostalgic. We watch a lot of our old shows. We've been binging them, no commercials, just enjoying the nostalgia. Do you know Wishbone in itself was canceled?
Yeah. I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Wishbone
Yeah.
was canceled. And the reason why Wishbone was canceled was because it did not sell enough merchandise. There was no reason for it to be canceled. It made enough money. It was booming. Viewership was the top. It was number one in all its everything. Demographics, everything. But because it did not sell merchandise like Sesame Street and Between the Lions and all these other shows, it was canceled.
That's trash. They should have canceled
That I
Caillou.
didn't know that.
Right?
Because Caillou was way too entitled.
Right?
Don't get me started on that
I know.
bald-headed child.
I know.
Like, let's just
Go
get
ahead,
back
yeah.
on
Back to Wishbone.
So, Wishbone was canceled. Everybody is like now back into our recent times. We binge watch almost everything. Like I just binge watched the whole of X-Men the animated series, the original back from the 90s. So, you know, just to get me back up. So, you know, I was thinking, well, maybe get into these other shows. Did you know you cannot find Wishbone at all?
Why would they do that?
I've seen a few clips, and I do know what you mean, because I did try to find it too, and you really can't like find like full episodes. Like we like you know, we've been watching Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes.
We've been binging it.
Oh my
because
gosh,
we
I love it.
realized it's on Paramount.
It is on Paramount.
But they have some episodes that are missing from the seasons, and then like the last few seasons where they changed all the kids, they don't even have that season up. So we've been binging it on like YouTube, wherever you can find it, but you can find the full episodes. Wishbone has been that unicorn that I can't find. I have really tried, and I was just like, I could get a clip here or there, but I can't really get full episodes.
Right. So,
Wow,
if
you can
look
only
it up-
watch it on YouTube.
Right. So Wishbone is only on YouTube, and it's clips. It's not really full
Yeah.
episodes, okay?
Yeah.
So there was this amazing person who I looked up, who brought this to my attention on TikTok, right? Wait, hold up. And this person went and was like, look, I'm going to go to my library. My library got to have Wishbone. The libraries do not have Wishbone anymore.
That's going to turn into a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
The libraries do not have Wishbone. Be it DVD, be it book, anything. There is no Wishbone.
Oh, they're going to act like it didn't exist.
Yep.
So there, you can't even really find it on eBay. There are some places on Amazon where you can purchase Wishbone, but it's kind of shady,
It is shady because you have to it's basically you have to purchase TV Guide to watch it, if that, and then there's Plex, and then YouTube.
That's still very shady.
It is, because like when you look this up, it has such minimal information on this series.
Yeah, and I don't think I should have to pay for something that I watched for free.
Correct.
In the past, and kids today have no clue what that is.
Right.
So why am I paying for something that kids have no idea, or if it's not even being used in schools, what is the purpose of doing that?
Because their rights are going to expire.
So this is the thing. This beautiful lady went and got PBS Kids because she's like, it was on PBS.
Yeah.
And it's not on PBS. Come to find out that there's a company that bought the rights to Wishbone and said it will never see the light of day.
What? What is the point
PBS
of that?
no longer owns the rights to Wishbone at
Okay,
all.
but even
Because
if they didn't,
Big
why?
Feats Entertainment owned it.
Correct.
And because their rights are going to expire, they're probably not going to sell it because they won't be able to have the investment of making more money.
Correct.
But, I
they
mean-
did nothing for the 20th anniversary of Wishbone. They've done, all of these other shows have come out. The
but-
Big Comfy Couch,
Okay,
all of them
right.
have come out with something.
Yeah. I'm so mad
This-
we missed that merch.
But I know
It's still up. Though.
sorry for those that don't know. Big Comfy Couch came out like a couple weeks ago with, and if you don't know, the Big Comfy Couch.
Sad for you.
So sorry. It's a 90s show. Also
Can't relate.
was on PBS and 21 and 23, and it was Lunette the Clown and her doll Molly, and just her, this couch.
And a big comfy couch.
And the Big Comfy Couch had a whole bunch of stuff. She could go in it. She could pull stuff out. She could live in it. It was like, it was amazing. It made
The
you
Dust
feel
Bunnies
like
were friends.
the Dust Bunnies. Yeah, it made you feel like you could go in your couch. Mind you, don't. But it made you feel like you could. It was very imaginative. It was very cute. And recently it just popped back up with the original Lunette because there were two different ones. And they came out with new merch that we completely missed. It sold out in like minutes.
Seconds.
Yeah.
It was gone. So
Sad.
our nostalgic hearts were crying.
Yeah.
But I'm very disappointed because when they had the rights, they did nothing with it. So
Yes.
now you're going to say that it's going to expire, so let it expire, and that means you'll never get it.
Right.
What is the point of that?
Right.
What? Why? The series, I feel horrible because people are never going to know the joy of watching this dog tell stories.
I know.
You know what
I
I'm
know.
saying? Like, that's crazy to me.
It's like Inspector Gadget.
Oh, love me some. Good
When I
Inspector
tell
Gadget.
you,
the
love
original
that cartoon.
Yeah.
cartoon.
I loved
Yeah.
the cartoon. I loved the movie with Matthew Broderick.
Oh, yes, the first
that's
one.
why
I
I
can't
wanted
say
a
the
peacoat
second
my
one.
whole life
Yeah.
with the hat and the fedora, and I
Yes.
wanted to just fly off while solving mysteries.
But that makes me so sad
Yeah,
right
so
there and disappointed.
Wishbone, and I think people, millennials, should really like. At this point, the rights are going to end, and the company wants nothing to do with Wishbone. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to release merch. They don't even want to put a picture of this little
I
Jack
know.
Russell Terrier chained up like Man in the Iron Mask.
Right. They got one picture of him on everything.
Man, the other one, it
It's
was the
the
Three
same.
Musketeers.
Yeah.
That
He
made
was
me
a
fall in love with
Yeah.
the Three Musketeers.
D'Artagnan, So it's like
He gave the innocence to us, the childhood, the
Yes.
imagination, the creation in our tiny minds to explore
he was Huck
reading.
Finn.
Yeah.
He was Tom Sawyer.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one, too.
So it's like this little Jack Russell Terrier. Now I know it was like 17 Jack Russell Terriers, okay?
Yes.
But at the time it was just one.
And-
Did
Yeah.
all of this for me in my
Yeah.
childhood. And if they would just, put everything on a DVD and sell it,
Yeah.
everybody would be happy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I just felt so like being, in nerdy. I was like, come on, Wishbone. Now, kids today are not going to know anything
Right,
about
right.
Wishbone.
I have to
because they're
say-
watching Coco Melon.
I have to say, like, and this is going off of that. Like, our past, we in the 90s, it was very book reading oriented.
Yeah.
Like when you think of all the shows, Reading Rainbow, Wishbone, there was
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street,
Out of the Box.
out of the box, Gullah Gullah Island.
Oh my gosh, what's the two guys in the lemur?
Oh,
Zaboomafoo.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Zaboomafoo. There was
I could still sing that whole song. Don't
again,
play.
like I said, the Big Comfy Couch. There was so many shows
Bananas and pajamas.
There was so many
Coming down
shows.
the stairs.
Lamb Chop.
Yup.
Oh my gosh! So her
goodness.
daughter came back with Lamb Chop. The
I
original
saw-
Lamb Chop,
Yes, yeah.
and she's
That's
been
dope.
playing her. That's so cute.
Reading. I mean, what's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? A lot of these shows were very.
Nobody could be Mr. Rogers.
What?
No, Tom
Oriented
Hanks did a
around
good job, but
a lot of reading, a lot of literacy,
Imagination.
exploring, being creative, and nowadays,
have you seen a Saturday morning?
a Saturday morning. I know we had Saturday morning cartoons, but they have Saturday morning something. I that's all I could say. Every time something comes up on Channel 7 where it housed one Saturday morning, it's now some kind of aquarium, something.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
It's real educational, and I'm sorry. Bring
I'm
back
not
a
saying
cartoon.
no, but I'm not saying we didn't learn from what they were
but
showing
that's
back
true.
in the day.
That's true.
Again, I enjoy reading because of a lot of the
Who was
things
it?
that
Standard Deviants.
Right.
Standard Deviants. Oh my gosh! If you never heard, Standard Deviants would come.
I think we spoke about this before.
on like a weekend
Yeah.
or something. But the way they would teach you, they were teaching you across the board all types
Yeah.
of
It was
math,
English,
English
math,
literacy, but they did it in a fun way too. And they did it in such a way where you were still learning. And I was able to break down math with them that made me understand, oh, okay, this is a good way to think about it for me. And it was just fun. But nowadays it's just it's I don't know what is going on. I was just like, I miss the 90s for what I got out of it. And I have to say, like, my brother was not a reader. Literacy wasn't his thing. It took a special kind of book to get him interested in reading. But he enjoyed watching those shows with us and getting something out of it like we did. So for someone who was not a literacy lover to watch something that would bring him into it,
Right.
like, come on. I feel like a lot of kids today are missing that, and I'm all like, yeah, Coco Melon is great, but what is my kid getting out of Coco Melon?
Right.
Just some nursery rhymes.
Right. Like those a lot of the shows that we had as children, like, really, it gave us music
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just one type of music. It gave us diversity in music. It gave us diversity in literature. It gave us the ability to create and visualize.
Yes.
And a lot of people, and it's crazy to like ask the question of, do you see pictures in your head? And for a lot of people to say no, I'm like, dang, like you're missing out, because like
I do.
the surprise.
No, I do. 100%.
I thought you were just fucking around.
Especially
I'm
when
sorry.
we listen to books and stuff like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I realize for myself, when I do a lot of things, I picture it 10 times, like 10 steps ahead. I have to see mentally where I want it to be or what the end goal is. So I have to picture it.
Right, but you're still able to see a picture in your head.
I am 100%. Like before I pick the clothes I'm going to wear, I literally picture it in my head before I choose them.
Right.
Or
So
that's how you already know what you're going to
And
wear.
then that's
Right.
how I know, okay, this is how I know what piece of articles I need to find to make that picture come
Right,
alive.
but that's all. That also would falls in the category of being able to just have the ability to visualize and create a piece in your mind.
Right.
And like it gave us a lot of different creative and ways to learn.
Yes.
Without feeling like it was a chore. It was
Yeah.
mandated. Like
Yeah.
we wanted to go open these books. I used to sit on my slide, and my neighbor, every time he got a book, like he'd be like, I got this book. And then he'd get the whole series.
Yes.
And and then like here I am, and he would always be grounded because he was always in trouble. And here I am on my slide, his bedroom window's there. He's hanging out the window so I could read him the book so he could do his report. But like it was a win-win because, I couldn't afford the books.
Yes.
He got the books I wanted to read. So, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that was a cool kid friendship where
when
like
you traded books with your friends, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
You don't do
Or
that
when
now.
you stole the books from the library.
Yep.
Yep, and then
Let-
you had to pay $50 because
Absolutely
you kept that
not,
book.
because my mama would be like, what are you talking about?
Absolutely not.
But like it made us, and for book readers like us, bookworms,
Yeah.
we value physical copy books so much.
Yes.
Like to open a book and smell its pages
Amazing.
is truly,
A blessing.
it is paradise.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No, 100%.
for a very long time, I wanted to be a person that restored books.
Oh.
Yeah, and I
wanted to be a
still do.
librarian.
Me too.
So
Right?
bad.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
I
so
wanted to work in the library because then I could sit there and read all my books and do everything and play with the Dewey Decimal System
Right.
and all of
It
that.
doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't
and then
exist.
have a fancy key card for
Right.
the archives.
Right. Hello. I
Right.
wanted to be a librarian for the longest. And I don't even care if it could be a little mini library. It could be a
Right.
school library. It could be anything. I wanted to be a librarian.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit there, be in the library.
Yeah. And this is why we have a mini library. This is why. It's 100%. I know, when I want to get a larger library for myself, but 100%, I agree
Absolutely.
with you guys. Like, I don't think people
It's not
understand the
fostered.
pleasure, of opening. And I feel like books will be dying out soon, and it's sad.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
feel like
The
it's
only
sad.
reason I say absolutely not is because even though we're in the technical era, books will always have a very high value to them, especially original copies and original
First editions. and
right.
things like that.
Like there are certain leathers, there are certain materials that books are no longer made of. So like there are going to be books. Everything is a book. It's just nobody goes to the library anymore.
Yeah.
And that sucks for you because when they have those book sales, let me tell you something. I will spend a good $20 and I'm coming home with 342 books. And that's me.
Yep.
And happy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
ecstatic.
Not
Yeah.
even just library. I still love going to a bookstore.
Yeah.
Don't get
yeah.
me a
thrift bookstore.
My-
An OG bookstore, not like the name brand ones. Those
Right.
are really like the finds you can find there.
Yeah.
Mind you, back in the 90s, how many bookstores were there? There was Walden Books. There was Barnes and Nobles.
Borders.
There was Borders.
Mm-hmm.
These are bookstores, and a lot of them do not exist
Except for
anymore.
being
Right.
Barnes and Nobles now.
Right.
And even then, they were shutting down quite a few.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't find them as many as you used to be.
Yeah, we used to love the one on 53rd and Lexington. It's no longer there, but that was our when
We need
went
to go
the
back to
city.
that one that we went to last time. It's got like 3 floors.
That's the
one on Long
flagship
Island.
store.
There's the one on Long
Long
Island,
Island.
and then there's the one
The
in
flagship
Union
store
Square.
in Union Square.
Yeah, that's
And that cool bookstore that we saw in Williamsburg.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a cool find.
Yeah, there was a really nice bookstore in Williamsburg. If you ever go to, it's a little mall.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, gosh, I'm trying to remember where it was.
Was it Wife?
No, it wasn't on Wife. It was, but it's in Williamsburg. It's so cute. It's by their little mall, and when you walk in, it's literally right next to it.
When we passed by there last time, definitely looked at a book and I was like, oh my gosh, look at that book! And then I walked away.
Amazing. But that's that.
It's very sad.
My heart is
It
broken.
is.
My heart is broken. Now it makes me think of like the books that we did have that were Wishbone. I wish I hadn't got rid of them. Because you know, how, like when you get older, you get rid of like childhood stuff. And just a side note, we had, I don't know if you ever heard of the child craft books. We had 1 to 15. My mother had ordered them. They're child craft books. And as you go through each book, it gets older. So you're starting off like kindergarten, and then it gets older with each book. And these aren't the kind of books that you could just get anywhere. These are special ordered books. Our dumb behinds gave them to my former best friend and never got them back. And then just to realize as an adult that they're so special that you don't get these anywhere. They barely sell
You know
them.
what it was? It was a guy that came to the door and sold books.
Yes.
Door to door.
My mom did that with the I don't know if you guys ever saw the old school origami books when they first came out when we were kids.
Yes.
Like, I
They
was-
used to have them at my school.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom had got me those because I just wanted to fold paper.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. You want to make everything, especially
Yeah.
in school when you had little time in between.
Yeah.
Like when you were bored and you just sit there and fold up paper.
Stars.
Yeah.
He was folding little
Yeah.
stars.
Amazing.
I learned how I think for like a good year or two, like me and my sister were like trying to fold every single thing in that book. And I think the only thing we really conquered was the star.
Yeah. But it was okay. You tried. You tried.
I can't even make that now.
Yeah, no, don't even ask
Don't
me.
even- don't.
I
I
used
know
to
it's
watch.
it's a strip of
I used to
paper.
watch.
You said it's
the
a
kids
stripper
that I
paper?
worked
It's a
with.
strip of paper.
Yeah, it's a stripper paper. Stripper paper. I used to watch the kids that I worked with, and they would make it like it was nothing, and I was like,
I know.
yeah, now.
Oh my God, remember GIMP? Oh, now we're getting too nostalgic. All right.
I don't
You don't remember GIMP?
No.
You don't remember making Chinese cases, boxes, none of that stuff? Who remembers GIMP?
I didn't make those.
Oh my God, I used to be the queen of that. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing. Me, my cousins, my sisters, we would have it by the whatever you call it, the roll things,
Yeah.
and we just be sitting there, whatever we was doing. Oh, I got to finish my GIMP.
I'm not gonna let that up.
No.
Yeah, I still know how to make those things.
I'm telling you, we made the box, the barrel, the
Yes.
Chinese staircase,
Yeah.
the double Chinese.
And then when you learn how to
staircase.
put beads on it, forget it.
That's it. You
Yes.
use the, and when you could start it, I could never start. She could always start.
Yeah.
I could never start.
I can never start the box one. That one I hated starting.
Oh yeah, because it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
go ahead, girl, start this for me,
Yeah,
so I could
start
do it at
whenever.
school.
Yeah, any of the lanyards, I can still do it today. That
Yeah.
I know. If you
I can
need
still
the
do 'em.
Chinese staircase, you want me to do the box, you want me to do the twisted box.
You want me to do
it.
the snake,
The
the
snake,
cobra,
the
because you have to come back
Yeah.
down and you got to go back up and
Yeah.
come.
I can do
Come on.
those.
Yeah.
All those I can do. But
Oh my
I
goodness.
can start them.
What a world we had.
Yes, because we was bored.
Yeah.
No,
explain
I mean
something.
we were
I thought it was
imaginative.
like,
but
yeah.
it was
I-
great
just the
for
other
us.
day we were talking about hand games.
Yeah.
Kids don't do that at all
Right.
today. They
Hey,
don't
you
know
right.
me too.
nothing about hand games. You know, when you used to just stay with a friend, a couple friends, you
Yeah.
just
Numbers,
doing numbers,
Yeah.
doing different.
just standing in line.
When you got
doing
to
numbers.
a double digit in Sly Baby,
Yeah.
couldn't tell me nothing.
No.
Couldn't tell me nothing.
No.
All right.
And all the
And if
stuff
we
we
was
used
on
to
point
say-
and we ain't have to start over for a hot minute,
Right.
you couldn't tell me nothing.
No.
You couldn't tell me nothing. Go to the store and go get my soda, my bag of chips, and my honey bun. Because I'ma still be here.
Because
Right.
$1.25 got you all of that.
Right.
Right.
And it got you a little bag of extra candies.
That's
Sure
right.
did.
Oh
That's
my
fi-
gosh.
Candies was 5 cents, and
Yeah.
then they had the 1 cent candies. Don't play with me.
Yep.
Don't play with me. Because I was
Damn.
going in there with $1.
Yeah.
This became more of just about Wishbone. It literally became about the wish in the past. You know?
No, really.
But
Oh my gosh.
definitely. You know, I mourn for Wishbone.
Yeah.
And I hope that the powers that be make a change.com petition so that we could get Wishbone. You know, just the show. Just just put it on a streaming service. If it got to be on PBS, if it got to be on Peacock, if it got to be on Disney Plus, somebody pick up Wishbone. Wishbone is a great educational TV show for the kids today to learn as well. If we're going to put them in front of the TVs, let's put them in front of TV, something more than Coco Melon and Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay?
True. Yes.
Yeah.
But if let me know how y'all feel about Wishbone and all of the other 90s things that we talked about in our childhood. What can you do? Can you make a lanyard? Can you start the box? Let me know, because I got a couple lanyards still sitting around.
Or the barrel.
Yo, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
All right. But what TV shows do you miss that you can't find?
Yeah.
Definitely let us know. Get us on social media. Give us, all of that information.
Communicate.
Yes.
We answer.
Yes.
We do.
We do. All right, guys. So we're gonna head into our recommendations, and I'm just gonna say pretty much, with summer coming, we're in spring. I'm gonna keep it basic. Go and experience a festival. Literally experience a festival. I've the three of us have had a pleasure of going to different ones, and there's some exciting ones coming up this year. If you're in the New York City area, there's always a festival going on. There's the night market, there's Smorgasburg, there's the Filipino festival coming up, which I'm super excited. I've never been to.
Hot Girl Market.
Yes. And it's not all just food. There's music, there's out, and especially with the summer coming, they've always got something going on outside, and it's majority of them are free.
Yep.
So if your pockets are tight and you just can't, but you want to do something, definitely check out the festivals going on in your areas. If you're not in New York, but I know there always something going on. So I recommend a festival.
So I am going to recommend another Netflix watch. You guys know I love Netflix. Netflix sponsor me already because I'm always on there. You should see my account. But this is the movie is called It's Kind of a Funny Story, and the background on it is just to give you a little gist. I don't want to spoil it, but it is about mental health, and when you get to certain points of your stresses or your mental where you think you're at your ends with, and it is a good watch for adolescence into a full-blown adulthood. So just the gist is a teenager, it's based in Brooklyn, and a teenager is debating whether or not he wanted to unalive himself, and he ends up calling the hotline because in his head, as he's standing at the bridge, he sees, a hallucination of his, parents and his sibling, telling him who's going to take care of the bike. And so it stops him. And because the teenager adolescent floor is being renovated, they put the teenagers with the adults. And so the teenagers and the adults, the teenager and a specific adult create a friendship and basically help save one another and push each other to fight their demons or mental statuses to get back into enjoying life. And at some points you may want to cry, but I promise you it's going to give you more laughs than break your heart. So please do. There are a lot of wonderful actors and actresses. Emma Roberts is in it. The gentleman from Atypical, one of the gentlemen from Hangover, with the beard. You know who I'm talking about. Yes. There's quite a few actors and actresses that do play several, or, play different patients with different mental health illnesses or disorders. But do give it a watch, because we're all battling something. And, sometimes we just need a good movie to give us a little highlight of our day, week, month. It's worth it.
So I'm going to recommend an old school video game that just came out with a new trailer. It's from herinteractive.com. It's called, it's the Nancy Drew series. I love Nancy Drew. Been reading Nancy Drew since I was like, I don't know how old. But this video game series came first out back in like 2004.
Oh, wow.
So I've been playing these games for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think this is the 35th, the 35th game to come out.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely love the original 33. I'm a little bit of more of a nostalgic person. So, and I played them when they first came out. It was like 2 years apart. They are amazing. So if you are a gamer, but you're also a little bit of a sleuth and you want to be a detective, get from herinteractive.com any of the Nancy Drew titles.
Ooh.
Literally, when I first saw the game, it was, I forgot where it was, and I picked it up by chance, and me and Kim played it, the very first one, which is Secrets Can Kill. And ever since, we were addicted, and every year they came out with one or two a year, and we had the whole collection from beginning up until
every single one digital.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when she recommends this
is 20 years of playing this series.
I hear game night.
From this company. The only ones we have not played are the last two,
which is the new one
that's about to drop in May, and the last one. It
changed.
The game kind of changed, and as you get older, you kind of go,
and you don't have much time. But yeah,
it is a 20-year gaming fanatic. Yes, definitely check it out. herinteractive.com. Nancy Drew.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's our recommendations. Again, check them out, and hopefully let us know what you think about them. Also, give us some recommendations. We've gotten some really nice ones that hopefully we can try coming up, even though some of them are flights, so that's gonna take a minute, but are there ones that are easily accessible? We're definitely gonna try. So if you have any recommendations, definitely let us know in our social media. Just look out for when we're asking for recommendations and throw some at us. And yeah, thank you again for listening and tuning in. This has been
My Kinda Convo.